What up, homies? Welcome to episode 28 of our Disco Elysium playthrough. Today is gonna be super interesting if you are into politics and the world building of this game. So I hope you are. We are meeting Joyce again, and as last time, we've got an episode-filling conversation with her. First of all, we talk about the recent developments around the case. More importantly though, we go further down the path of the reality check, and she gives us a very informative rundown of the past 50 to 60 years history of Revachol, Martinez, the Revolution, and the Coalition. And if all of that isn't already cool enough, in the last part, Joyce tells us about the Pale, a, let's say, natural phenomenon that surrounds the world like a mix between antimatter and fog, but it's not extraterrestrial. I'll let Joyce explain it better, so thanks for coming by, and enjoy. What up?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Word has travelled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
By the way, I've talked to Everard Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't. He's a beautiful man, beautiful and just. Everard Clare is a hero of the workers' movement. He is the champion of Sworn Fealty too. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can't do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. He is not the chairman I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. Ugh. It's not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. I feel like this would be the cleverer option to go for. It's not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. Or it's just, the dodgy answer here. I will not do this, obviously. I will not do this as well. I won't do that. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful and just. Just based on the fact that at the not the very beginning, but before we even first met her, we got the tip that we should try to get her off guard by just answering weirdly. So I think I'm gonna go either for that or for that. This might fuck up our possibilities with her, because she might not trust us anymore if we're swearing fealty to someone. And I don't even know if I'm willing to call Everard Clare a hero of the workers' movement. So I'm gonna go for the beautiful one.
Just? In what way?
In a funky socialist way, he looks out for the people. In a nice, crunchy, white working class way, of course. Yeah, he's not actually just, is he? He's useless. First one, in a funky socialist way.
Of course. Some of them, at least. The ones who work for him. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? No, wait. Actually, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption. Reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods. She says that as if in these companies there wouldn't be any corruption.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
I feel like we're losing Kim slowly.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
I've already come here to talk to her. Why does she try to play me like that?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
The money that you gave me, would that make things weird if I shared information, I mean? Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht. I'd rather talk about something else. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
Her eyes become large and round.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
I feel like we're confusing him and not her.
When I said be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
Too late.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Sure.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
No. Mr. Everett says it's almost ready to be found soon. Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun. It's the same thing. Broken record style. Fuck. Huh. I'm gonna go for no.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else?
I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
Unimportant. The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk, helps them strike. Unimportant.
You're right, detective. That whole undertaking was very unimportant. Why did we do it?
An act of sympathy for the working man, I set fire to the fumes of struggle. I worship Al Ghul in many ways. It's uninteresting. I thought it would make the broth taste better. Actually, I turned the knob like this. Turn the heat down. Yeah.
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship.
No, for the sake of them not going crazy.
And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
Should we have turned it up? Weird. That money you gave me, would that make things weird?
Weird? Oh no. One of the positive things to come from the revolution is the unhindered exchange of information, you see. Even when it comes to trade secrets. Which isn't to suggest our talks constitute corporate espionage. Even if they did, it would be fine. But they don't, since you logged the money as a donation, and this is clearly just gossip between friends.
The lieutenant might have, but I don't remember you logging anything as anything, Harry.
I'd rather talk about something else.
Of course, detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Alright, let's go for the reality check stuff. We had still a bunch of questions there.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Why is that so large? Esprit de corps. What is? Think of something close to you. RCM can access ICP database. RCM authority comes from the coalition. RCM Kim debrief done. What are you? What times are these? What is this? Spread your hands. In conceptualization, impossible. What is? Reach for something fundamental. Jamais vu, thought complete. Plus 12. Oh, damn, yeah.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Say nothing.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
Yeah, let's make it better.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Wait, is this the one with the evil apes? Elysium, the world needs a term for endearment. The world, this world does not deserve a term of endearment. Is this the one with the evil apes? I don't know what that means. Elysium, the world needs a term of endearment. Sure.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I have got the whole picture yet. I've got a clear picture. Let's proceed to another term. I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
How about it's a ball? Inside sideways? What shape is this world then? Sure.
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
Oh my god, wait, what the hell are you telling me? The pale, and what do you mean, corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
The hell?
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together, okay? And then everything will be okay. First one, I guess.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco, doesn't sound like any kind of disco I'd like to go to. I don't care about disco. I only care about the commune. Yeah.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Jesus.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Be quiet. I want to know about this.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is. What do you mean it's not part of reality? Okay, then. What do you mean it's not part of reality?
Ma'am, remember you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer who is still recovering from a recent medical episode.
This feels very important now.
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics.
Ooh, talk to Joyce about the pale without
What do
Kim.
you want to know?
Nice.
Anything.
But she wants to tell you.
Nice.
This is not going to happen with the lieutenant present, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Ask Kim to step away while you discuss the pale. Kim trusts you. I could level up our morale, heal it. This would probably make it even better. 92%. Although I feel like we should maybe actually do that at night. When he really is not there, so he can't overhear us. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
Huh, And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
That is actually a pretty good description. Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out? Ooh, that's the apes that we talked about right in the beginning. Who got shot in the head? Who got the mineral rights? When was this kerfuffle? That's enough about the times. Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Sounds like evil to me. Okay, neutral. They're good apes, actually. They're good apes, actually.
I don't know about that.
Turns north to the bombed out buildings lining the waterfront and shivers slightly. Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
40 million. Okay.
She's not gloated. It's a relieved celebration.
Ugh.
Oh, and the anarchists too.
Obviously.
They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle. That's a tragedy. Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then. God damn it. I don't like this. That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Of course. Smart king, cowardly king. I love that king, fucking communist. I don't care about kings. Tell me one more thing. Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Jesus Christ. Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
Okay, so there were liberals on the side of the monarchy, which was a big mistake, and there were liberals on the side of the revolution? And they fared well? How? How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Huh. That's a cool dynamic. Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights. and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes, I am. And also not. Cool. I don't think I'm a moralist.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
One was this kerfuffle.
Turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in 02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
This is actually pretty interesting here. What did this Zaraf do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Cool. Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next? So wait. The revolution began in 08 and it only lasted for 6 years. But it seems to be... No, okay, they are talking about a world revolution, but the only two places that actually did revolutionize were Revachol and Grad. They held for 6 years and then the coalition, so EU and the NATO, whatever, came and fucked it all up. Alright? What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other. What is the zone of control? What happened in the rest of the world? What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
Cool. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to pick the you and I seem pretty different option. Although I don't even know, I didn't pick that first because I don't know if I'm really a fan of that. I mean, we obviously are. We've got different, class alignments here. But based on what she just told us, we are actually not that super far apart. I don't think she could ever be a part of the revolution. I mean, I don't even know if we could ever be, being cop and shit. But all in all, if you just, abstract that a little bit, we are, some kind of solidarity here because we are part of Revachol, which is being, suppressed, let's say, by this coalition shit. So, if you abstract that even higher up, there is some kind of, class solidarity between the two of us, in that we are from Revachol, being suppressed. Still, we are still very far apart. Alright, let's continue.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years? It's been like this for how long exactly? Yeah, okay, we can't do math.
Time flies.
So for 43 years, this place has been like this. It's been bombed 43 years ago, and it still looks like this. Sure, best options for everyone. The moral is just, good shit. What have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Yeah, tax haven. So they just stomped the revolution and created this place here, not caring about certain parts of it, just to create a tax haven. They probably bought a bunch of stuff here, bought the whole country, fucked up everything else, and fucked up the people living here, because they now own everything and can squeeze everyone for everything. And now they created this tax haven. So were they going somewhere? Things?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Cool. We got a reality lockdown, actually.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled. Say nothing. You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova. This raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone. See, money can't buy everything. It can buy a lot, and she's got a way better life than these people here. But still, this whole place is fucked up, and, if you got the slightest bit of empathy, you'd recognize that, and apparently she does.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all of this? I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like a Zaraf drove those people mad. Jesus. I would have killed more, 400 million if that's what it took. I would have made it off with the mineral rights. I don't know what I would have done differently. I ask you, who are you in all of this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Nothing is good here. Would have sought out a medical solution? No. Would have killed more? No. I don't know if that's what it took. If that's what it took, it helps. But, killed more, 400 million? That's not the solution here. The solution is not killing everyone. It feels like that's what the makers of this game, again, are going for with the communism shit. Just kill everyone and communism will win. I'm not a fan of that. I would have made it off with the mineral rights? No. So I guess I don't know what I would have done differently. This is a horrible answer, but everything else here just sucks.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the coalition took the city.
Probably, happily. No way I wouldn't have fought with the communards. Happily.
Good. Not that it would have mattered. In the end, the commune forced everyone to the barricades.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I want to know what you are. What are the other options? This shit. And ask for Kim to step away. We'll not do that. We'll just... and we could probably do that. Maybe we just got this volition skill here and then we can do that and we don't have to waste doing this at night. Let's go for the here. I don't want to know. I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Say nothing. What are you? What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Wait, what's an ultra? Dios mio. Draw a cross. A liberal. Cool. I liberate pretty hard myself. I don't understand what's so wild about that. Dios mio.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists.
I love that she's aware of that.
I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
You're a monster. I forgive you, but only because you're charming. I don't care. I think I'm gonna go for 3 because just, you know, peel back all the layers. We're back to the Rizzler. This is at least somewhat fitting our character. I don't care, really does not fit your monster. Yeah, kinda, but you know, not her. She didn't do that, I think. Forgive you. Let's go for number 3 here.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Vile devil. Shake your head slowly.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my deeply felt need to infiltrate and betray the revolution, and then ensnare you to financial service.
Cool.
Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
That's not much. Would you have done something differently? That settles that. Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
Cool.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman. You're a patriot. You have daughters. You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
I kind of don't like that. Because again, it's called World Revolution. We're not about, you know, patriotism here.
Seditious talk, man.
Lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have a daughter? I don't like this. We're not going to side with her with patriotism. So you have daughters? Conclude?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Sure. We can get esprit de corps higher with some clothes, so we don't have to do that now. We could do that. We still have this. What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing. Am I really that awkward? I meant what this place is here. Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
Yeah, because their boat is too large. What is the Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbled facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
Okay. From a dilapidated balcony, a young girl in odd clothes gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
Okay, what is that? Point to Cindy the skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
No, I meant something basic about reality. Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing but to a child. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. Yeah!
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
Uh-huh. Buying anti-capitalist shirts.
All right. What next?
Okay, do I do this now or do I just go here at night? We want to fuck around with the boots tonight. So I don't know how long that will take. We might do this now. I assume this is just another option to do that because we have volition skilled. If we would have not volition skilled, if we could, because we have what is that? Psyche skilled. We have 2 skill points, by the way. Holy shit. So yeah, let's just do it.
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Kim, can I talk to the ma'am alone for a second?
Fine.
He steps away with his notes. There he goes. Bye.
See? What can he do? You're
No.
a grown man.
Now, what is the pail?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the pail?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interinsulary mass.
Shouldn't that be water? Wait, and what is an isla? Okay, what is the pail like? What is an isla?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this Insulinde.
So how do you... If it's not water, it would be called water if it wasn't water, right? So how do you travel between them? Do you fly over that? And Insulinde is?
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
So we are in Insulinde. And Insulinde is an oceanic isola. So we are a landmass that is mostly oceanic, I guess. Mostly comprises mostly of water. Mundi is the largest Isola, I guess. Katla is the coldest here. And Cylinder is the bluest because of all the water. So that means that the Pale is not water, right? Okay, what is the Pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Damn. So this really is just this turns fantastical now. It's a broken up world with different shards, I guess. And on these shards, or these shards are called the Isolas. And we are on the Insulinda shard, is what I'm reading here.
The negation of being.
The negation of?
That's right. The negation of being.
She tightens a hood around her neck. It's cold outside. Is it here? Look around. What are its physical qualities? If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola? That's what I was asking. How much Pale is there compared to the world? Is it here? Look around.
No, detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isola.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of the world? Question mark. And point north there. What? It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north. You are in the middle of the Isola and point north and there. Sure.
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called porch collapse.
Damn, does it move or it just stays does it stay in the same place?
Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapour marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mould that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
Okay. What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic.
I would like to know of these other countries, these moralist, I've forgotten the name, the coalition. Are they on this Isola or are they on the other Isolas? And if they are on the other ones, can we cut communication somehow, cut access somehow and turn this into a better place?
The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
There's a slippery article in there.
Is it the Pale or Pale?
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's Pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference.
If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
Okay.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged.
Okay. The Pale can damage the mind. This sounds like the coalition is on our Isola.
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
Who says and who argues? What does this over-radiation feel like? Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
Okay, what does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
Okay.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger.
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories.
Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
Damn. What is anthroponetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has anthroponetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
You can actually fly between E-Solars.
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale.
Cool.
In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
Oh my god, if we do not?
Then they don't.
Jesus. So they don't have a way to prepare themselves? They just get launched? Like a Metal Gear Solid nuke?
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
Jesus. How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping? Slipping how? To our detriment or?
What do you think, detective?
It's shrinking. There's more and more of the world. It's growing. There's more and more of the pale. Let's be positive.
Oh no, detective.
Sad.
It's not. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen. Cover everything. That can't be. Where would we go? Stay silent. Stay silent.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild pale yonder. Cool.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
That's pretty cool. It's like the fact that the sun will, run out of energy at one point and turn into... Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not going to start with the physics shit because I forgot. Basically, it's going to go bye-bye. Oh my god. So, on a huge universal scale, at one point, everything here is going to be gone. But that's so abstract because it's so far in the future that you can't even think about that. This is pretty tangible, which makes this pretty cool.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Let's return to reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Nothing, just alcohol, fumes, and blackout. I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. I'm getting sense of who I am, but no, I don't know this. Second one.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
Holy fuck. It's terrifying, you were right, it's disco, it will end all life. That we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another. That's cool. And its advance can only be stopped with immediate total ruthless communism. That's stupid. A powerful anti-communist force, perhaps too powerful, but still they have it coming. What? I'm worried, I have to say. It doesn't sound very liberal to me. I don't know how you've all survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. Who am I to think anything of it? Fourth, that we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another. Her eyes tense, crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
She stops mid-sentence. I'll handle it. It's under control. This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by. I promise. Sorry. Yes, I'm in serious trouble here. I'll be a fucking disaster. It'll be a fucking disaster. I know it. All those people will die. This seems a little bit naive. This seems like this weird super cop thing. I don't really care for that. It'll be a fucking disaster. Seems too doomy gloomy. I'm in serious trouble here.
Your colleague, Lieutenant Kisaragi, is competent. I checked up on him. And you have me. I will try to assist you in any way I can.
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
Even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Cool. She gives you a slight bow.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
You needn't have worried. That was fucking insane, Kim. Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant. Some more reality lowdown before we go. You needn't have worried.
But I did. Anyway.
He looks around a little uncomfortable now.
Damn it, you're a grown man, the lieutenant thinks. Shouldn't have gotten protective hair.
Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant. I don't think there were more options here, so... Apart from the one where we need to level up Esprit de Corps some more. Let's get to work.
Good luck, detectives.
She nods to you goodbye. And we have the communist stuff going on now. The suicide of Kazmazov.
The suicide of Kraz Mazov. It's clearly a lie. Kraz Mazov didn't shoot himself. Reaction was on the counteroffensive. The State Day Palace in Mirova was surrounded. He was either assassinated or died in the bombing. You might even have evidence to support this, somewhere in your brain. Mazov was never given a state funeral by the communists. Some people even say the body that was recovered from the ruins wasn't his. There, good. Hero restored to glory. Carry on, comrade.
Okay. Bonuses. White check failures heal all morale. Huh. +1 rhetoric. Mazovian ethics. Cool. We don't have a new thought to work with here. There's a bunch of shit we still can unlock. Holy hell. Cool. Okay, let's see. We still have a bunch of things to do, obviously. First thing on the agenda, though, will be to get 10 more bucks so we can, actually sleep. We have 3 skill points. Holy hell. Let's use them. First into drama. 1 more into suggestion. The other one we're gonna keep. We could level up. We had something that we could level up so we can try a white check again to get money from that guy. Maybe we do that. I can't remember what it was. We're just gonna go to him and see.